With the NFL football season starting hot with the matchup of the Buffalo Bills and the previous Super Bowl winners, the Los Angeles Rams. Hello, I'm Peyton Miles. On today's show, we're going to be talking about standout players this season thus far. Then we're going to be talking about Week 2 games and how they went. Finally, we're going to be talking about Week 3 predictions. We answered all these questions and more when we come back to NFL Take. After Week 2, there were many standout players in the NFL that did amazing in their first games. We'll be talking about which of those players stood out the most based on position. Joining me today to talk about more, Rajon Cates, Fletcher Armbrust. So, we got to talk about these numbers, guys. Lamar Jackson threw for 318 passing, 3 touchdowns, 119 rushing, and 1 rushing touchdown.
They lost, though. That's the thing. Stats don't matter. All that matters is the win.
I feel like that's just Lamar being Lamar.
I agree. He's doing it by himself. Besides Mark Andrews, he's doing it all. He's their running back, quarterback. He's their
head coach,
he's their whole team.
Wide receiver.
He's not their wide receiver. He hasn't caught a pass.
So, but I feel like if you're putting up stats like that and you're just losing, it's like brings down a person, you know?
It was a close game, though.
Yeah, it was, but just losing to the Dolphins, it's just, you know.
The thing that worries me, though, is you go up 35-14 and then score 3 points for the rest of the game and lose. I think if you're going to be a star player, MVP caliber, you've got to be able to finish the games, especially when you go up by 21 points. You've got to be able to lead your team to victory.
I agree with that.
I feel like that's him just being young and just making mistakes, you know.
Yeah, I don't know if he'll ever be able to adapt to like be a top tier Super Bowl contender quarterback, but it's cool to see him show off and put up numbers like that nobody really ever put up numbers like that, you know. Like, how many other people put up 120 rushing and 318 passing?
Well, I can think of one person, Michael Vick.
Okay, Michael Vick was also very good. I agree with that 100%. Michael Vick was one of the only other people to ever put up numbers like that.
Yep, I agree. However, I do think he's going to need, I know, for them to be a championship, I know this sounds a lot, but he's going to need to do more. Like,
I agree with that.
He's going to need to play on defense also.
Yeah.
For his team.
Special teams.
He's going to need
kicker.
to be the punt returner.
Yeah.
Kick the extra points.
Then they might do pretty good. All right, now we're talking about Tua, the quarterback that he lost to. Tua threw for 369.
No, 469.
My fault. 469, 6 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions.
I think the reason is like that his wide receivers.
I agree with
his
that.
wide receivers. I think
insane.
Waddle and Hill both had over 200 yards. And if you look at that, that is like a lot of his passing yards.
I agree with that.
I feel like with the receiver and the quarterback thing, I feel like the quarterback had to deliver to the receiver for the receiver to really help the quarterback out. I feel like they're helping both of each other.
We have seen, though, Tua has struggled to get the ball to his receiver.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
I think we all saw that pass
Oh,
to
and
Tyreek
Tyreek Hill, yeah.
where it was very short. But I think his receivers are just good enough to put him over the edge.
And the 2 interceptions, I feel like that's just him being him.
Yeah.
I think that's just what happens to quarterbacks.
I'm going to change the topic here a little bit. What if Lamar had Tua's targets? What would you guys think about
Super
that?
Bowl contenders, easily.
Yeah,
Think so?
definitely.
Well,
Lamar can
I
get
don't
the
know
ball
about
to him, I think.
contenders, definitely. I just don't know if they will
I
win.
feel like they'll go easily second round.
But is he keeping Mark Andrews also?
Yeah.
If he's keeping Mark Andrews, then they have Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill, and Mark Andrews. That's got to be one of the best receiving cores.
Lamar's
in
got a
the
great
league.
deep ball.
Yep, he's also got some good legs too.
And if the receiver's not open, he can just,
Skedaddle.
yeah.
I do think Miami has a good offensive line with Teron
Yeah.
Armstead, but I'm not sure. I need to see a lot of these players. It's just too small of a sample size.
I agree with that. All right, we'll go ahead and skip to the next quarterback. Jared Goff. Little low on the passing yards, but 256, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions.
I don't know what he was on. That's not like him at all.
I agree with this.
He led his team
Surprising
to the
standout
Super Bowl,
players.
though. Although
Yeah, he led my team to the Super Bowl.
they also,
They were also
keep
really
this
good.
in mind. They
Yeah.
played against the Commanders. The
Fair
Commanders, I just think I think they're bad. In my
I
opinion.
agree with that 100%.
I think their secondary, the Commanders, there's only like 2 people I know in that secondary.
I don't
So-
even know if I can name anybody in the secondary.
Yeah. So I'm not reading too much into it yet. And like I've been saying, too small of a sample size.
I agree with that. Y'all think he'll come out next week and put up the same numbers? It'll be back to old Jared Goff.
Who do they play?
The Vikings. No.
Nah, I feel like that he's not going to capitalize like that.
I think the Vikings defense is really good, but I don't think it's like enough to.
It's not as good as the Broncos.
I don't think he'll put up as good numbers as he did, but
Or
I
the
think he'll
Rams.
put up pretty good. Or the Bills.
Or the Yeah. I mean, and his receiver, Brown, he had over 60 yards rushing, and he had 2 touchdowns and 116 receiving yards.
Yeah, we'll get to that. He went insane.
So,
We'll go to Nick Chubb next. 17 rushes, 87 yards, and 3 touchdowns.
he was doing it all for the Browns.
He really was.
Who'd they play last week?
The Jets.
The Jets?
Yeah,
And lost.
No.
they did lose to the
that's-
Jets.
At 1 point.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I mean, they got Jacoby Brissett as their quarterback. So if you have Jacoby Brissett and Nick Chubb, give the ball to Nick Chubb.
And definitely red zone. You can see his yards are a little bit on the lower side, but his touchdowns, you can tell he was more of a red zone threat
They
in
do have
that game.
Kareem Hunt, though.
Kareem Hunt, I had him on my fantasy, and he didn't do that good. So
True, but I would say he's probably the best number 2 running back in the league.
I agree with that.
I can't think of anyone who's better than Kareem Hunt as a number 2.
Yeah.
As a number 1, there's plenty of guys who are better.
All right, next we're going to be talking about Amon-Ra St. Brown.
I'm too small of a sample size.
I don't know. He did good in week 1. 2 rushes for 68 yards, 9 receptions for 116, and 2 touchdowns. I think that's really good numbers, especially for a young receiver
Yeah.
playing for the Lions.
Who's the other receiver? Who's their number 2? Do you know? 'Cause I don't know who
Their
it
number
is.
2. He's the main target. I know that.
Yeah, I think he's going to be pretty good. However, I still need more of a sample size.
I agree with that. That's all we have time for right now, guys. Up next, we'll be talking about Week 2 wins and losses and our opinions. We'll be right back with that. We have seen some crazy wins and losses in the NFL Week 2 matchups. Some bottom-tier teams from last year showing up in a big way, maybe even playoff contenders. Joining me to talk about it, Rajon Cates, Fletcher Armbrust. I mean, these matchups are kind of crazy. We're going to kind of speed through them, but Bengals Cowboys 20-17.
This worries me a little bit, but I think Cincinnati will figure it out.
Yeah, I feel like Cincinnati need to just get right. They'll get right.
Yeah, I agree with that. Falcons Rams 31-27. Rams
I
up.
feel like the Rams just capitalized and did what they needed to do.
I think this does worry me a little bit because the Falcons, they were down 28-3.
Yeah.
They almost came back, but I did think it's too small of a sample size.
I agree with that. Chargers Chiefs 27-24.
Mahomes is great.
Yeah.
Juju only had 10 yards, and they were still able to beat the Chargers.
Even though Herbert got hurt, I think it was still a really good game.
Yeah.
Dolphins Ravens 42-38. Dolphins up.
This was a great game. I didn't have the luxury of being able to watch it, but I do think this was an electric, two really good, flashy teams playing
I
against
feel
each
like
other.
Tua helped them out in a major way. And Lamar just need to get right.
Lamar does need to get right. Seahawks 49ers 7-27. 49ers up.
I feel like Debo only have 2 words.
I think the Seahawks.
Debo.
That's one word.
That's one word.
Oh, 1 word.
I do think the Seahawks are. I think they're bad. They won their Super Bowl against the Broncos. Get revenge for Russell Wilson for whatever reason. The only points they scored was on a field goal block return. That does worry me a little bit. I do think the Seahawks are bad.
Yeah, I agree with that. The Seahawks aren't really doing too great right now. Steelers Patriots 17-14. Patriots up.
I think this shows how big coaching is. Patriots, they were able to rebound after a disappointing week 1. But I do think the Steelers need to figure out a good game plan, especially without T.J. Watt on the defense.
I agree with that. I think the Patriots. I think it was a little bit of an upset in my eyes, but we'll
I disagree.
see. Jets Browns 31-30. Jets up.
The Browns need Watson if they want to. They need to.
I agree with that.
They need Watson if they want to do anything.
They just
really.
need a whole new plan.
Yep.
And
Garrett Wilson might be the best rookie receiver.
Possibly.
I feel like the Jets just been doing good.
The Jets have been doing pretty good. I don't know if they'll be what they want to be, but it's a little bit surprising in my eyes. Lions Commanders 27-36. Lions up.
Lions aren't quite as bad as I thought.
I agree with that.
They're better this year. Do you think they're?
I want to see the Lions do big things. I want the Lions to make it to the playoffs this year.
Not gonna happen.
We'll see.
Not gonna happen.
Colts Jags 0-24. Jags up.
Colts are terrible.
Yeah,
That's what I took
they're
away.
bad.
Matt Ryan
You get
is
shut
not
out.
doing what they want him to be doing.
Yeah, you got shut out in your revenge game from last season because they lost to the Jags. Because if they would have won, they would have made the playoffs. They lost.
Jags
Matt
is
Ryan
another team.
I think Matt Ryan. He's too old. I think he's. I don't know.
Jags is another team I want to go to the playoffs.
I could see that.
Oh, I want to see the Jags and the Lions play. That'd be a interesting
it'd be
game.
a good game.
Bucks Saints 2010. Bucks
I feel
up.
like
This
Tom
shows
Brady.
Tom Brady's the GOAT.
Yeah.
My takeaway.
The Saints really weren't doing anything too special in that game, but
And you can even tell how his players respect him.
Yes,
Mike
100%.
Evans stepping up for him, obviously, because it's Tom Brady. What is he supposed to do?
I agree with that. Panthers Giants 19-16. Giants up.
Panthers are the worst team in the NFL.
That's a hot take. But I don't think anybody really likes the Panthers, so you're good. Packers Bears 27-10. Packers up.
Rodgers he just owns the Bears.
I think the Bears might be the worst team.
I disagree. I think it's the Patriots, but not Patriots. Panthers.
I don't know, man. Cardinals Raiders 29-23. Comeback win for the Cardinals.
Speaking from experience, McDaniels, he's the problem. McDaniels is just bad. I'm pretty sure Renfro fumbled the ball on back-to-back plays.
He did.
Although the offense recovered it off the first one in overtime. I think the second time, Cardinals returned it. But they did get some suspense at the end when he threw the ball away. Couldn't tell if he had passed the goal line yet. So, but he crossed the plane before he chunked the ball into the stands.
I feel like Devontae just need to step up.
Think so?
He just need to take over.
I don't think Devontae's the
I
issue.
don't think Devontae's the problem. I think it's more of a coaching staff Maybe a little bit of the quarterback in there.
Maybe some growing pains, just a new team.
Yeah.
Darren Waller have to adjust to not getting quite as many targets. And Adams has to adjust to not having Aaron Rodgers as his quarterback.
I agree with that. 100%.
So how do you feel about Darren Waller, his game? He had 4 receptions for about 80 yards.
He did really good. It's really impressive, but I think that's Darren Waller putting up Darren Waller numbers.
Yeah, I agree.
As a big body tight end and a big target for that team, I think he'll continue to be great.
How do you feel about Broncos-Texans? That game was a close game. I'm pretty sure, I think it was 13-9. I think that was the final score. My takeaway is that they need more experience playing together. And injuries. We're missing Tim Patrick for the season due to an ACL tear. And Jerry Jeudy went out. He is day-to-day, but it does worry me a little bit. It really does.
Yeah, I feel like the Broncos is just not capitalizing.
Especially in the red zone.
They're just not doing what they need to do.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I think Russell Wilson isn't playing as good as people thought he was going to play.
I feel like he's really, it's a disappointment.
I definitely
almost.
It's been 2 games.
I definitely added him on my fantasy team. I was very disappointed.
His old team. He lost to the Seahawks.
Yeah, it wasn't necessarily his fault because we were in the red zone. Or there were 5 opportunities where we had a touchdown.
I guess that ride was short.
Broncos country?
We lost a letter boy.
Okay.
It's kind of disappointing.
Okay.
I mean, either way, the Bills are the best team in the league. But, guys, that's all we have time for. We will talk about Week 3 matchups and how we think they'll go in the next segment. Week 3 has some big matchups, including Aaron Rodgers versus Tom Brady and Kyler Murray versus Matthew Stafford. Here to tell us more, Rajon Cates and Fletcher Armbrust. So, with the Week 3 starting off hot, what y'all think about these games?
I don't know. There's been quite a bit of upsets and comebacks so far.
Yeah.
Been some disappointments and some surprises.
All right, well, we'll start off Bills-Dolphins.
Got to go with the Bills. I just think they're just too
Bills,
good.
100%. Bills are all-around great team, great defense, great offense. I don't think the Dolphins are ready for that type of heat yet. So
never know, but
yeah, it's always a surprise. We'll see. Steelers versus Browns.
Got to go with the Steelers.
I agree with that. Browns are not what they used to be. When Deshaun Watson comes in, I think it'll be. It may change it up a little bit. We'll see, but
I just don't know if Jacoby Brissett can lead your team to that many W's.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Bengals-Jets.
I went with the Bengals. I think they will bounce back, but if they don't, I think they press the panic button.
Honestly, I don't know, man. I think the Jets might come up in a big way and show them they're trying to be a playoff team this year.
Well, I'm a Broncos fan, and we had Joe Flacco as a quarterback. He started off as a quarterback, and he sucked. So I don't think he can lead your team to that many wins either. So going with the Bengals.
All right, I love the Bengals, but we'll see how they play. Raiders-Titans.
I'm gonna go with the Titans.
I agree with the Titans.
Oh my gosh.
I'm a Broncos fan. I hate the Raiders, and I do think Derrick Henry will bounce back.
Yeah,
I think he's still struggling with his injury. But I do think he will bounce back because they need him to.
Yeah, he's not in a great place right now. He's not in his prime right now. So we'll see how he does. I'm going to have to say it, the Titans on that one as well. I don't know. I don't think the Raiders are ready for that type of heat.
Yeah, their coach sucks too.
They don't really have it. I mean, they have Devontae Adams and Darren Waller as targets, so you never know.
And Hunter Renfrow.
Hunter Renfrow, that man fumbled. He sold. My fault.
Mike McDaniels, is he your coach? Speaking from experience, that's not a good thing.
All right, Saints-Panthers.
Panthers are down bad.
Saints, yeah. Panthers are not.
Panthers could be the worst team in the league.
They look pretty rough right now, I'm not going to lie. Baker Mayfield isn't doing a great job.
CMC's the only option, and
he's
too
too
struggled
injury
with
prone.
injuries. Yeah.
He's too injury prone. Ravens versus Patriots.
I think the Patriots will pull up the upset.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I do.
I disagree with that. I believe
Actually,
in
the
Lamar.
more that I think about it.
I believe in Lamar.
But you got to think he's playing up against one of the best coaches of all time. He's going to have a great game plan ready to stop Lamar.
But
Yeah.
big players make big plays.
Well, Lamar Jackson, he doesn't have another star player beside him besides Mark Andrews on the offense.
I can agree with that.
But with Mac Jones, and I do think Bill Belichick really does help you. Plus, I wanted to pick some upsets just because there's always upsets. So I think this could potentially be an upset.
I like that. Lions Vikings.
I'm going to go with the Vikings.
I agree. I think it's going to be close, though.
I think it'll be close, but I want the Lions to win. I think the Lions will pull it off.
I would love for the Lions to win. So I just think
I don't think it's going to be close. With
As long as they can
Justin
stop
Jefferson.
Justin Jefferson, I think it'll be a good game. But
they do
Yeah.
have Adam Thielen also.
Yeah, Adam Thielen, yeah.
I mean,
Two big targets.
it is two big targets. Lions, I just want to see them do good for once, you know?
Yeah.
No disrespect to the Lions fans, but Eagles versus Commanders.
I'm going to go with the Eagles. I think this could potentially be another upset, but I do think the Eagles, I think they're just too talented.
Yeah, I want the Eagles to win that one too. I think it'll be a good game, but I think Jalen Hurts will.
Yep.
I think he's going to improve throughout the season.
I don't know. I think he's going to get worse.
Really?
Yeah, I think teams will know what to expect from him after a little bit. Because they have A.J. Brown, I think teams will be able to look at the footage and be able to stop Jalen Hurts later in the season.
Very true, very true. You got any opinions on that one, Ray?
Nah.
Yeah.
Right.
No opinions, sorry. But Chiefs, Colts.
I would love for the Chiefs to lose, but I do think the Colts are just so down bad right now. I think the Chiefs will win with ease.
Yeah, the Chiefs with Juju. Yeah.
I think, honestly, it's just going to be a blowout.
Yeah, Patrick Mahomes has really showed that he is maybe the best quarterback in the league right
Consistently the best quarterback in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Because last week, Juju only had 10 yards, 10 total yards.
And they still are
And they still
great.
dominated. Yep. So,
All right.
I'm going to go with the Chiefs.
I got the Chiefs on that one as well. Texans, Bears.
I think I'm going to go with the Texans.
Texans.
Upset?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's an upset. They're both bad.
Yeah, but I think the Bears will win it.
I think the Texans are going to win just because I think they have the better quarterback right now. Now, that's kind of a hot take. I do think Davis Mills is actually good. They have Brandon Cooks. Their defense is okay. So, they did give the Broncos a run for their money last week.
Agree with that.
So, I do think the Texans will. I think they'll win this one.
I guess we'll just have to see. Jags, Chargers.
So, I'm pretty sure Herbert was questionable.
Yeah.
So, if Herbert does not play, I'm going with the Jags.
At
In
this
a very close game. But if he plays, I think they're just too much. They're so much better than the Jags.
I don't know. The Jags have been doing great this year. Like
I do
thus
think
far,
they
they've
still
been
hot.
they've been doing really good. Like let's see. I don't know if I put them on here, but I know they won their first game against the Colts, which isn't saying a lot, but they beat the Colts 24-0.
24-0. Yeah, I feel like the Jags will win on this one because they've been doing so good.
I want the Jags to win.
I did too. I hate the Chargers.
I like the Chargers, but I just want to see the Jags do good. I want to see the underdogs get some W's.
Yep.
Rams, Cardinals.
The Rams.
The Rams.
I'm a
I don't know
Rams
about-
fan, man. You know.
I don't know about this one. I really don't know about this one. I think
I feel like we'll get to Kyler Murray more than we need to, but we'll get to him. Aaron Donald, you know.
I think potentially the Rams might figure it out by this week. However, I don't know. It's very close teams.
Yeah,
I think
because our offense ain't been doing that good since Odell, you know.
and their defense, they've lost some key players. They lost what's his name, Von Miller, Bobby Wagner. They gained him, but
And then Ramsey having on and off games.
Yeah.
yeah,
He's
I
been
wonder
doing
how
too great.
much the Super Bowl hangover will affect him. But
I feel like
I think
with
we'll go with the
Cooper Kupp,
Cardinals.
he would still do good since he just always been doing good, you know.
Yeah, but my thing is if they can eliminate him, get him, just lock him up, maybe throw some zones in, stop him. I think it'll be a closer game than most people would expect.
I think I'm going to go with the Cardinals.
I agree with that. I'll go with the Cardinals as well.
I'm going with the Rams.
All right, Packers and Bucks. Aaron Rodgers versus Tom Brady.
Go with Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers, wow.
Packers.
Wow, really?
Yes.
I'm going with the GOAT himself, Tom Brady.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to.
They're both old, so I feel like Tom Brady.
Don't forget, Mike Evans is suspended.
Yeah, he did.
Oh,
he
he
did.
is.
And
Push.
Chris Godwin, he's been struggling with injuries, so.
I feel like some of the backups will come in and step up.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think Aaron Rodgers' team is too young right now. They
Yeah.
need some time to develop. He's throwing to all
Since
rookie receivers right now.
Devontae
I'm pretty
left,
sure.
he really don't have
Allen
nobody to go
Lazard.
to, really.
He's not a rookie, but I do think the Packers will pull this out, but I think it'll be a very electric game to watch.
All right, last one. I saved it just for you. 49ers versus Broncos.
I'm going to go with the 49ers on this one because I just feel like, Debo, he just going to dominate the Broncos defense, as he always does. He always just do good.
Patrick Surtain is potentially a top 10 cornerback in the NFL. If because he went out last week with injuries. If he plays, I think we'll shut down Debo, and I think we'll win. If he doesn't play, then I'm not super confident, but I do think the Broncos, with their top 5 defense in the NFL, I do think they will win. Plus, I think Russell Wilson and Nathaniel Hackett, they'll figure it out because they're both on a new team, brand new head coach, not to mention new ownership. So, but I do think the Broncos will win this one.
I feel like the cornerback just is not going to get there in time. Debo is dangerous on all 3 levels as a running back, quarterback, and a receiver.
Quarterback.
He's thrown a couple touchdowns on trick plays. He's thrown a couple touchdowns. So, and receiver, he's just going to dominate anywhere he goes, honestly.
I think you're overrating Debo.
As a South Carolina guy, I think I'm really excited to see him explode
Really excited
in the NFL.
to see him lose.
Whoa. Okay. Well, only thing that worries me a little bit is 49ers are currently out of a quarterback, I'm pretty sure. They got Jimmy G, so.
He did lead them to the NFC Championship game last week.
He did, but.
And then the 49ers did beat the Seahawks, right?
It's the Seahawks.
But the 49ers is just going to capitalize.
Capitalize?
Yeah.
We'll see, man. We'll
I
see.
think they're going to get a
Especially with
capitalized
Debo
L.
himself.
Debo is. I love Debo. I have him on my fantasy. I hope he does good.
I hope you lose your fantasy game.
I've lost a blast too, so I must not be doing something right. So, all right, thank you guys for joining us today. That's all we have time for. If you have any suggestions, comments for our show, you can contact us at learn.tv@lcsd.k12.sc.us. I'm Peyton Miles. We'll see you next time on the NFL Take.